Cats may seem similar at first glance, but their sex can play a big role in how they act and interact. Male and female cats often differ in size, habits, and even how they show affection. Let's explore the key differences that make each one special in their own way. Size and build. Male cats are generally larger and more muscular than females. This size difference becomes especially noticeable once they reach adulthood. While both sexes can vary depending on breed and genetics, males tend to have broader heads, thicker necks, and a more solid frame. In contrast, females usually have a slimmer, more delicate build. These physical traits don't necessarily impact personality, but they can affect things like agility and strength during play. For people choosing between a male or female kitten, size might not seem important at first, but keep in mind that your tiny fluff ball might grow into a surprisingly hefty companion if he's a boy. This size distinction is one of the most visible differences between the sexes, even if both are equally adorable. Territorial behavior. Male cats, especially those who aren't neutered, are far more likely to display territorial behavior. This often includes spraying urine to mark their space, roaming in search of mates, and even getting into fights with other males. They're wired to defend their turf and establish dominance. Neutering usually reduces or eliminates this behavior, but the instinct can still linger. Female cats, on the other hand, are generally less territorial. While they may hiss or swat to protect their personal space, especially if they're caring for kittens, they're less likely to mark with urine or wander far from home. If you're looking for a more home-oriented and low-maintenance pet in this regard, a female might be the better choice. Still, every cat is unique, and early training plays a big role. Affection levels. When it comes to affection, many people claim that female cats tend to be more loving and emotionally connected to their owners. They often seek out cuddles, follow their humans from room to room, and enjoy gentle attention. However, some female cats can also be more selective or moody. They'll shower you with love one moment and prefer solitude the next. Male cats, especially neutered ones, are usually more laid back and openly affectionate. They're often described as dog-like in their friendliness, happily flopping next to you on the couch or rolling over for belly rubs. That said, affection isn't purely determined by gender. Socialization, environment, and personality play huge roles. Still, if you're hoping for a clingy companion or an independent spirit, knowing these tendencies can help guide your choice. Playfulness. Male cats are often more playful and energetic, especially during their younger years. They tend to engage in rough and tumble games, chase toys aggressively, and explore every corner of the house. This high energy can make them endlessly entertaining, but also a bit of a handful at times. Female cats, while certainly capable of play, usually prefer more graceful, calculated movements. They may engage in short bursts of activity and then retreat to rest or groom. Of course, there are exceptions. Some females are wild balls of energy, and some males prefer a nap in the sun. But in general, if you're looking for a lively, active pet who always wants to play, a male cat might fit the bill. Just be ready for some chaos and lots of zoomies. Maturity and independence. Female cats often mature faster than males, both physically and emotionally. They usually become more independent and self-reliant at an earlier age. This maturity can make them easier to train and more predictable in behavior. Many female cats enjoy companionship, but on their own terms. They may not always seek constant attention, preferring quiet moments and personal space. Male cats, in contrast, often retain a kitten-like attitude well into adulthood. They may take longer to settle down and can be more dependent on their owners for interaction and comfort. While this makes them endearing to many, it can also mean a longer, wild child phase. So if you're hoping for a more independent and low-maintenance cat, females often fit that description, though personality always varies from cat to cat. Vocalization differences. Some cats are chatterboxes, and gender can influence just how much they talk. Unspayed females often become especially vocal during heat, letting the whole neighborhood know they're looking for attention. Even after being spayed, some girls keep a habit of meowing more than males. Males, particularly those that are neutered, tend to be quieter overall. But there are plenty of exceptions. Breed matters too. A male Siamese will likely out-talk a quiet female Maine Coon any day. If you're sensitive to noise or live in a small apartment, it's worth paying attention to these tendencies. Still, don't expect silence or a full-blown conversation based on gender alone. Each cat has their own voice and their own reasons for using it. Grooming habits. Females usually take cleanliness more seriously. They're often seen carefully grooming every inch of their fur, keeping themselves tidy and soft. This habit helps reduce shedding, matting, and even the dreaded hairballs. Males, especially unneutered ones, can be a bit more casual, sometimes skipping grooming sessions altogether, which can leave them looking a little rough around the edges. Neutered males tend to improve, but they still don't match the fastidious habits of most females. That said, grooming also depends on personality and coat type. Long-haired cats of either sex will need help from their humans. Still, if you're hoping for a cat who stays neat with minimal effort, a female might give you a slight edge. Social dynamics with other cats. Social behavior can vary a lot between male and female cats, especially in multi-cat households. Neutered males are generally more relaxed and sociable. They often enjoy playing, lounging, and even grooming their feline companions. Introducing them to new cats tends to go smoother, particularly if the other cat is also easygoing. Females, however, can be more cautious and territorial. They may take longer to accept another cat in their space, especially if it's another female. Hissing, swatting, or keeping their distance is common at first. That doesn't mean females can't get along. It just takes more time and a slower introduction. Pairing a male and a female often results in fewer conflicts than two females. Still, personality matters most. Some cats love company regardless of gender, while others prefer to rule the house solo. Reproductive behaviors. One of the most obvious differences between male and female cats lies in their reproductive behaviors, especially if they aren't spayed or neutered. Unneutered males are driven to roam, mark territory, and seek out females, often leading to spraying, loud yowling, and even fighting. Unspayed females go into heat regularly, during which they can become extremely vocal, restless, and affectionate, sometimes even rolling on the floor or assuming mating postures. These behaviors can be challenging for pet owners. Thankfully, spaying or neutering eliminates most of these issues and also helps prevent unwanted litters and health complications. While reproductive behavior can be intense in both sexes, it's more disruptive in females during heat and in males when marking territory or competing with other males. Fixing your cat early can make a huge difference in behavior and overall well-being. Health tendencies. Male and female cats can have different health risks based on their biological makeup. For example, male cats are more prone to urinary tract blockages due to their narrower urethras, especially if they're overweight or don't drink enough water. This condition can be life-threatening and often requires emergency care. Female cats, while less likely to suffer from urinary blockages, can develop uterine infections like pyometra or mammary tumors if they aren't spayed. Hormonal cancers are generally more common in unspayed females and unneutered males. Spaying and neutering greatly reduce these risks and can increase life expectancy. In general, both sexes can live long, healthy lives with proper care, but understanding the health tendencies of each can help you spot problems early and give your cat the best life possible. While every cat is unique, understanding the general differences between males and females can help you make a more informed choice, or simply appreciate your furry friend even more. From behavior and grooming to social habits and health, gender can play a subtle but meaningful role in your cat's personality and needs. But remember, the biggest factor is always individual temperament and how you bond with your pet. If you found this video helpful or learned something new, we'd love your support. Just hit that like button. It helps us keep making content for cat lovers like you every single day.